There is a version of you that nobody warns you about. A version that wakes up one morning and feels nothing. Not sadness. Not anger. Not even emptiness in the way movies show you. Just stillness. And in that moment, most people panic. They reach for their phone. They call someone. They search for noise to fill the silence. Because they've been taught their whole lives that caring is strength. But what if caring about the wrong things has been quietly destroying you? What if the day you stopped caring was the day you finally became free? We live in an age of performed emotion. Look around you. Millions of people, exhausted, not from labor, not from poverty or hunger, but from the relentless, invisible weight of caring too much about things that were never meant to carry their souls. They care what strangers think of them online. They care if someone left their message unread. They care about the opinion of people they secretly don't even respect. They care so deeply about being liked, being validated, being seen as successful, that they have slowly, quietly handed over the keys to their own peace of mind. And every time someone doesn't respond the way they hoped, every time the likes don't come, every time they are misunderstood, overlooked, or criticized, they crumble. Silently. Privately. In ways they can't even explain to themselves. This is the epidemic no one is talking about. Not depression. Not anxiety. Not failure. It is the epidemic of misplaced caring. Of pouring your energy, your identity, your sense of worth, into things and people that were never designed to hold it. And here is what the ancient philosophers understood that modern psychology is only now beginning to confirm. The quality of your life is determined not by how much you feel, but by what you choose to feel deeply about. Over 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor sat alone at the edge of a military campaign, surrounded by war, politics, betrayal, and the crushing weight of an empire, and wrote these words to himself. Marcus Aurelius. Meditations. A private journal never meant to be published. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Not power over people. Not power over outcomes. Power over the mind." Marcus didn't say this as a motivational phrase to put on a poster. He said it as a man who was actively being tested by loss, ingratitude, and the betrayal of people close to him. He said it as a discipline, something he had to remind himself of daily because the pull toward misplaced caring is not a weakness unique to weak people. It is human. And then there was Epictetus. Born into slavery. Control. His body was not his own. And yet, the Roman philosopher who rose from chains to become one of the most respected minds of his era wrote something that should stop every person in their tracks. He said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." Read that again. He is not telling you to stop wanting things. He is not asking you to be passive or indifferent to life. He is drawing a razor-sharp line between what is yours and what is not yours. Your opinions, your values, your effort, your character, your response to the world. These are yours. The weather, the opinion of others, the outcome of events, the behavior of people who choose to deceive or abandon you. These are not yours. And Seneca, the brilliant, complicated philosopher and statesman who served in Nero's court and watched power corrupt everything around him, put it in the most devastating way. "It is not that I am brave. It is that I know what deserves my fear." Not bravery as the absence of feeling. Bravery as discernment. Knowing what deserves your grief. Knowing what deserves your anger. Knowing what deserves your time, your energy, your love. And choosing, deliberately, like a warrior choosing which battles to enter, to let everything else pass through you like wine through an open window. This is what the Stoics called apatheia. Not apathy in the modern sense. Not numbness. Not giving up. Apatheia means freedom from the disturbance of irrational, unconsidered emotion. It means being unmoved by things that do not deserve to move you. The day he stopped caring was not the day he gave up. It was the day he learned what was worth caring about. Modern psychology has a name for the instinct that destroys most people's inner peace. It's called external locus of control. It describes a person who believes, consciously or not, that their emotional state is determined by what happens to them rather than what happens within them. When someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. When someone praises them, they feel valuable. When someone leaves, they feel unlovable. When someone stays, they feel whole. Their entire emotional architecture is outsourced, rented, never owned. And here is the deep psychological truth. This pattern doesn't form from weakness. It forms from a wound. Most people who desperately seek validation were once denied it at the exact moment they needed it most. A father who was never present. A mother whose love felt conditional. A childhood where love was something you earned rather than something you were. And so the nervous system learned a survival strategy. Read the room. Perform. Adapt. Please. And for a child, that strategy was brilliant. Kept them safe. But 30 years later, that same nervous system is still running the same program. Still performing. Still adapting to the emotional weather of every person in the room. Still handing over the remote control to its own peace to whoever will take it. This is not weakness. This is an outdated strategy trying to solve a problem that no longer exists. And the Stoic practice, the daily, rigorous, almost athletic practice of returning your attention to what you can control, is not philosophy as an intellectual exercise. It is neurological reprogramming. Every time you catch yourself spiraling over someone's opinion, and choose to redirect your attention to your own values and actions, you are literally rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists call it self-directed neuroplasticity. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel. A fortress inside you that no external force can breach. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because you have decided, deliberately, what has the power to move you. So how do you build this? Not as a concept, as a practice. Here are the lessons. Lesson 1. Distinguish between what is yours and what is not. Every morning, before the world enters, ask yourself, what in my life today is actually under my control? Write it down. Be ruthless about it. Most of what you will list as concerns is not on that list. And the moment you see that clearly, something shifts. Lesson 2. Let people be wrong about you. This is harder than it sounds. Because the ego, your ego, my ego, every human ego, screams when it is misrepresented. It needs to correct. It needs to explain. It needs to be understood. The warrior philosopher learns to let that scream exist, and not answer it. You do not need everyone to understand you. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need to defend yourself to people who have already decided what they believe. Silence is not defeat. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful statement a person can make. Lesson 3. Feel everything. Be moved by nothing unnecessarily. The Stoics were not emotionless. Marcus Aurelius grieved the death of his children with devastating depth. Seneca wept. Epictetus loved. The goal is not to become stone. The goal is to feel with full presence and then let it pass. To be like water that absorbs the stone thrown into it, ripples fully and then returns to stillness. Lesson 4. Stop performing your life for an audience that doesn't exist. Social media has created a generation of people who experience their own lives through the imagined reaction of others. They don't eat the meal, they photograph it. They don't feel the sunset, they post it. And slowly, quietly, they stop living their actual life and start living their curated one. The Stoic practice says, return to the thing itself. Eat the meal. Feel the sunset. Live the moment for the moment alone. Lesson 5. Make your peace non-negotiable. This is the final and most important lesson. Most people treat their inner peace as something they will achieve after. After the relationship is fixed. After the career is settled. After the world cooperates. The warrior philosopher decides that peace is not the destination. It is the starting point. It is the ground beneath his feet from which every action begins. And nothing, no insult, no loss, no failure, no opinion, is allowed to take the ground beneath his feet. The day he stopped caring was not a day of coldness. It was a day of clarity. He looked at the noise around him, the opinions, the drama, the endless performance of other people's insecurities, and he made a choice. Not to turn away from life, but to turn toward it, fully, completely, on his own terms. He stopped carrying the weight of what people thought of him. Not because he became arrogant, but because he finally understood that no one else's opinion could tell him who he was. He stopped spiraling over outcomes he couldn't control. Not because he stopped caring about excellence, but because he understood that the process was his, and the result was not. He stopped needing to be understood. Not because he closed himself off from people, but because he found something more stable than understanding: self-knowledge. And in that stillness, that radical, disciplined, hard-won stillness, he found something most people will spend their whole lives searching for in the noise. He found himself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That retreat is available to you. Right now. Today. In the middle of whatever chaos surrounds you. The question is not whether you are capable of finding it. The question is whether you are willing to stop looking for it everywhere else. This is Warrior Philosophy, where we explore the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, the depths of human psychology, and the timeless principles of self-mastery, not to make you feel good for a moment, but to make you stronger for a lifetime. If this lesson moved something in you, if even one sentence made you pause and think, then this channel is built for you. Subscribe. Join this community of people who are choosing the harder, truer, more powerful path. Because the warrior is not the one who feels nothing. The warrior is the one who has learned what is worth feeling. We'll see you in the next lesson.